Hello.
Oh, look at that on the screen. Hi, welcome to the Untitled Star Trek podcast. We're going to get that title going someday.
Yeah, definitely.
We're figuring it out. Hopefully that's part of our charm, that we are doing this completely backwards and wrong. Hi, I'm Adam Ordall Quinnell, and I'm here with...
I'm Al Hirt.
Yeah, those are the sounds of our voices.
Hello.
Hello, Al. So we're going to talk about an episode of Star Trek. If you've listened to all three of these episodes, first off, you're the only one. Thank you.
Congratulations,
Mom or Dad. And we're just trying to figure out the right way to do this shit. So hopefully,
we're playing it by ear.
Yeah, stick in there with us. We're in an office in a 2-bedroom apartment in Van Nuys, California. It's 100 degrees outside. Actually, it's not that bad today. It's very humid.
Actually pretty humid.
Humid as hell, though. Bad news. Okay, so we're going to talk about an episode of Star Trek: The Original Series in a moment or two. But it's also Comic-Con weekend,
right?
And I don't want to sound like I'm not doing like an entertainment news segment or anything. Because
there's some interesting things.
But there's some cool shit. I mean, obviously there was a lot of Star Trek stuff, but the big thing that jumped out for me is they announced there was going to be a Lower Decks Strange New Worlds crossover. I don't know if that was a joke.
A lot of build behind that, though.
I think that would be hilarious if the Lower... I hope it's live action. My wife thinks it's just going to be their voices over like on a recording coming from the future or something. But we'll see.
Well, thinking about it, the recording their voices would just be easier, but...
Well, yeah, and are they going to have... Because not everybody looks like their character, I guess, but I mean, they could pretty easily have Tawny and the dude from The Boys...
Jack Quaid?
They could easily have them play their characters as being time travelers or some shit. But I'm very curious as to what will happen there. I think Strange New Worlds is great. I can't believe you haven't watched that stuff yet.
No, not yet. But... Also, though, the other thing that popped out, you brought up the D&D trailer.
Oh yeah, so I didn't. So I used to read. I used to have a job where I could sit and read entertainment news all day, and because I was doing like engineering stuff that would take like 2.5 hours of my day, and then I would just sit on YouTube and shit the rest of the day. And they, so I used to always be a year or two ahead of everything that was coming out.
Yeah.
And then I saw that there was, I was on Twitter and there was a Dungeons and Dragons trailer released for a new Dungeons and Dragons movie called like Honor Among Thieves or something.
Yeah, Honor Among Thieves.
And it looked so fucking cool. And it looks like it's the cool Dungeons and Dragons movie that we've never gotten.
Yeah, it's all finally leading up to that. And they got a nice lead, Chris Pine.
Yeah, and it's Chris Pine, and it's a Paramount, so I'll be able to watch it on Paramount Plus, who does not sponsor our podcast, even though we mention it all the time, because that's where we watch the Star Trek remasters. But we are apolitical towards our streaming overlords. So Comic-Con is huge. Have you ever been to a big Comic-Con like that?
Probably just the one in Denver.
You went to like the actual, was it like Wizard World Denver, or was it like
no,
just Denver
it was just
Comic-Con?
Denver Comic-Con. I mean, I realized obviously once you go in, there's just a huge marketplace and like so many artists and so many things to see. I went to like some talk about, I don't know, exo worlds or exoplanets or something, which was pretty interesting. And then there's like 2 hours later, it was like we went to, there's a My Little Pony talk too.
Oh, yeah.
Crazy.
That sounds like a pretty standard regional comic convention. That's exactly how I was actually
like those
supposed
2 worlds.
I was supposed to go perform at CoreCon, a convention that I like a lot in the Fargo-Moorhead area back in the Midwest. Or the North, and was not able to do it because of COVID, but I will be back next year. Hopefully these podcasts are out by then. Maybe I'll force Al to come with, and we'll do a live podcast or something. But yeah, so SDCC is crazy. There's lots of Marvel stuff. We're not going to bore you with all that. There's plenty of podcasts that talk about that shit.
Oh, I'm sure they have it covered.
I am excited about certain things. I think that I'm very curious to see what She-Hulk, the finished She-Hulk stuff is going to look like.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Should be a lot of fun, though. The new trailer is cool. They showed Daredevil at the end.
Oh, okay.
And then they've kind of announced their plans for Charlie Cox Daredevil in the MCU. And I'm excited about that because I like Daredevil. I don't think they're gonna have it be as brutal as before. But that was the one other thing. They announced that the Marvel
maybe.
Comics. They announced that the Marvel Comics Zombies show is going to be TVMA.
Wow.
Yeah, so they're going to make like adult.
That's actually a big deal. See, if they're making that TVMA, they could
Make
definitely
Daredevil
ride with Dare-
TMA,
Yeah.
TMVA.
It depends though, because
wanna
toys, sales, and markets and shit. If there's a market for Daredevil,
You know,
though,
I wonder if there was, because I don't collect those specific toys, but I wonder if there was a Charlie Cox
You follow
Netflix
the money,
Daredevil
man.
toy. I wonder if there was a chart like if
or
they
a Jessica Jones figure,
Jessica Jones, or the
Luke Cage.
who was the villain in Jessica Jones? The Killminder, the
Killmonger.
Killmonger.
I think that was
no,
his
Killmonger
name.
was
Wait,
from,
no,
that's from Iron Man.
no, wait,
he was
that's Black Panther.
Killing. Oh yeah, Black Panther.
What
was
are
his
you talking
name?
about?
It was Lord Killamagoo.
Killamagoo.
Something like that.
Mr.
David
Break Your
Tennant.
Mind.
He was David Tennant,
Which is already that just should have been his name.
David. Oh my God! People are just screaming at us online right now. It's definitely something like Killblazer, Killgrave. See, I think that we listed
all these Ks.
We listed so many kill names that were as good or better than Killgrave. Just get me in the room for one of those shows. All right, so, but we're not just here to talk about nerdy stuff of the comic book nature. We're talking about Star Trek, the original series. This is episode 3 of our podcast.
Where no man has gone before.
Yes, and that's not just a quote from the opening title. It's the name of this episode, Where No Man Has Gone Before.
Definitely talk about what they mean by that later, but let's just quickly go over the episode.
But first I want to say a little bit about how it was the second pilot.
Oh, right.
Yeah, because we talked about that on our pilot episode that only the patrons 10 years from now are going to be able to hear. So they shot a pilot for NBC that wasn't aired until later, and they used it later, and we'll talk about that. But they commissioned a second pilot. They're like, we like Gene Roddenberry, we like the idea. Let's try again and make it a little bit quirkier, a little bit less dour and downbeat. And go from there. And so then they made this, but they ended up airing this episode third in the series, which I think is interesting because you can definitely see that it has a little bit of piloty rough around the edges still. The Spock makeup and whatnot, but also
his eyebrows.
His eyebrows, they don't have the right angle yet.
No,
they take some 3
don't.
tries, but they get there. And we will talk about in detail like Spock and logic and all that at the end, because I think it bears discussing that. This is the first real episode that they made, and they were already like, Spock's like logic, Vulcans are logical, and then they just had to kind of stick with that for 60 years. It's just funny that a choice that they made, like, what if Gene Roddenberry decided right after he submitted the script, he was like, what if he doesn't have to be logical all the time? And it's like, oh no, that's it.
Forever.
That's it. 60
That's how it goes.
But yeah, so in the episode, The Enterprise is out on doing their 5-year mission, and they run into an anomaly that strikes their ship with lightning. Right, Phil? Am I missing anything?
Isn't it some?
It's a big pink cloud.
A pink cloud that they go through, right?
Yeah, it's like a big pink. They might have called it an anomaly.
They grab something first though, and they vaporize it in.
Oh, that's right.
Or they energize it and not vaporize it. Yes. Energize it.
It's been so. Yeah, they find a probe, or no, it's the black box from a ship.
Yeah, the black box from a ship.
We got there.
That blew up.
Yes, so
that was the Valiant, right?
Sure.
That's what it was called.
Yeah, no, I believe you. I'm just saying I have no fucking idea. But so the Enterprise comes in, they find the Valiant's wreckage, and they find basically the black box that's the ship's recorder that they send out. And then what do they find out from the ship's recorder? We're not going to make the whole thing a recap.
The tape information is let's see, it's information on ESP people, on ESP crewmates, right? And a self-destructive order from the captain.
Ah, that's right.
Right, and that's how the captain starts freaking out about ESP people.
So then, on the bridge of the Enterprise, the science team comes in one of whom was an actress I recognized from something else, and I had to look it up. She is Sally Kellerman, who was the love interest in Back to School starring Rodney Dangerfield. So there's a little cast member trivia for you. And so these 3 doctors, no Bones yet. They didn't figure out Bones until the next episode.
Yeah, I think she was replacing Bones for that temporarily.
Or the other
at least
guy.
they were thinking.
I feel like the guy who looked like a barber from the 50s might have been the actual medical doctor replacing Bones.
Oh, yeah, he just showed up randomly.
Her deal was she studies ESP.
That's true.
And so she might be the ship's
She's
counselor.
a therapist. She's a counselor. Yeah, she's a counselor, Troy.
So she's the counselor Troy of the past.
What you're saying.
So then they're on the ship, they're on the bridge, and that's when they encounter this anomaly that first off they talk about ESP, and it's just interesting that so this is a science fiction show about science fiction, and in the first episode that they shoot, they're already talking about mind control and ESP.
Yeah.
which is not very science fiction.
No, it feels more like, I guess, superpower, cartoony-ish.
Exactly,
kind of.
Yep. And like we talked about last time, this is...
Supernatural, I guess, is the word I was trying to look for.
This is like 2 years after the X-Men were created.
Yeah,
like
I just kept thinking about that too. Well, also, I turned to Adam and I was like, wasn't the last episode about a psychic too? But then we were talking about the distinction between them too.
Yeah, well, the last episode was about a guy who could just spontaneously create matter and control reality. And this is about a person who can like read minds and also do the other shit too. Like it seems like,
I guess he could spontaneously make stuff too.
So basically, which
happens later.
The ship is struck by this anomaly, and Gary Mitchell, hilarious name for like a character that would become a god.
Actor.
The dude who plays him, Gary Lockwood, is fucking awesome. And so he gets shocked, and the Sally Kellerman's character gets shocked by this anomaly, and fucking Gary Lockwood. Let me see here. What else was he in? Had a little technical hiccup there because
what's up?
My computer is old and we're working on it.
No worries.
So because the dude from 2000, he played Frank Poole in 2001: Space Odyssey, which is exciting. I love 2001. So he gets struck by lightning, and so does Sally Kellerman's character, and then he has immediately something that's going to disturb Al for the rest of our conversation about this.
Yes, I couldn't stop thinking
tinfoil
about
eyes.
It. No, okay, so let's
talk about the eyes
thing we
for
discussed.
A minute.
Yeah, was the eyes. I turned and I was like, how do you think they did that? And Adam just says, just contact lenses and tinfoil. And he was totally, just joking out of left field. And I decided to look it up, and turns out it's 2 pieces of contact foil that are like sandwiching a piece of aluminum foil.
Yeah.
And then they like pricked like a pinhole or like a hole inside for them to see.
And there's no way they could actually see out of it.
There's no way.
And Al was shocked that they would put an actor through this. And it's like, nobody's ever given a shit about actors in science fiction. Like when you read about the big one, the reason I knew what it was is because of Bruce Campbell's contacts in fucking Evil Dead 2 when he becomes badass in Evil Dead 2, and he's got like the white, like you couldn't see anything out of it. It's 2 white pieces. It's like 2 ping pong ball halves that you just put over your eyeball. And this was 1966.
Yeah.
So for sure.
Let alone.
Yeah, for sure. It was just 2 contact lenses
Wasn't
with a
this
little piece of
the
tin
first
foil
episode they
them.
filmed too?
And it was the first episode they
filmed.
They
didn't really care.
They had about $4.
I was thinking too.
Like budget.
Do you think
eyes.
it's the same contact lenses, or they made like 30 pairs or 15 pairs? Or...
Well, who knows? They probably took him a couple tries to figure it out without scratching his fucking eyeball around the edge or whatever. And it's funny because you can see sometimes they
you have to measure it exactly.
You'd hate to have the tinfoil edge.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
For a show that might be famous,
they just stick it right in there. Like I have a hard enough time thinking about, because I don't have glasses or contacts. Not trying to brag.
Oh, contacts suck. But I wore them once.
Yeah, I could. It's even though I'm a 40-year-old man, that seems like something I never want to do. So. Gary Mitchell gets tinfoil eyes, and then we just think about it the rest of the time. They send him to sickbay, and then he starts to
recover.
He starts to act. Recovering is one thing. It's also a bit of like it's like a metamorphosis.
Right.
He recovers quickly, and then he asks to read all the ship's history tapes, like all the tapes.
Yeah, it's a little strange.
And so he's like reading super fast, and Sally Kellerman's character comes in to like see what how he's doing, and they have kind of a weird exchange.
So they kind of just start to sympathize and empathize with each other. She kind of starts to feel bad for him, especially since they both got shocked.
Yeah, but she doesn't have
cloud, right?
She doesn't have the weird powers yet, though.
Not yet. No, it comes later.
It does come later, and so she's basically just he starts to control the ship. He's flexing his powers all over the place. He keeps it's kind of like when Rey on Star Wars The Force Awakens, how she slowly gets her Jedi power, or she rapidly gets her Jedi powers.
She bypasses
it's kind of the same
compressor.
Thing. Yeah, he kind of does that.
Like I see what you're saying.
He sort of gets his powers grow exponentially, which we'll discuss later.
Does Kirk confront him then after that? And then he gets the mind
Well, Kirk just
read.
goes to talk to him and see how he's doing.
Oh, yeah.
And he's fucking
and
weird
you brought
as hell.
that up, too. You brought that up in the note.
Yeah, so Kirk goes in to see him, and this is a very weird joke for Star Trek. Kirk is like, he was like, Gary Mitchell says, were you worried about me? And Kirk says, not as worried as I was for you after that incident on Deneb 4 with that lady. And Gary Mitchell's like, well, there's fewer after effects with this lightning, at least. And so he's talking about getting a space STD.
Yeah, where it caused temporary blindness, it seems.
Well, yeah. I hadn't even put that.
Like, oh my god,
I hadn't put that together, but
he said less symptoms.
Sure, absolutely. And not as much burning in other places. Just the burning of his red swollen eyes from having tinfoil or aluminum foil on them.
It's great too, because in these hospital scenes you would tell that like you can see them all puffy and stuff, and that he's wearing down one of these contact lenses. So they definitely made him others, because then in the next shot his eyes are kind of redone.
Yeah, they look totally different.
Fresh and brand new ones in there, and his eyes are more open.
Sometimes you can see that the aluminum foil has moved over a little bit, and you can kind of see his eye a little. It's absolutely disgusting. Bro. Must have been the most uncomfortable shit. And so then basically they go. So Kirk talks to Gary Mitchell, and it ends up that they've got to figure out what the fuck to do. This guy's becoming godlike. So what is like? So now you got to get your department heads together and figure out what the hell to do about this guy. What's Spock's recommendation?
Spock tells Kirk to basically, either kill or maroon Mitchell out on a planet in the middle of nowhere, because they were comparing, right, like the notes to the notes that they got from the Valiant ship.
Yes.
With the captain researching into ESP and researching into his ESP, what is it?
So
crewmates.
So he doesn't want a repeat of what obviously happened on the Valiant. So what happens is this cloud, or this anomaly that they encounter, triggers and amplifies the ESP in the crew members that have ESP sensitivity. And that's what that lady, what is her name? I had to stop having IMDb on because my computer was locking up. What's the nurse's name? Sally Kellerman's character? No. It's, she plays Dr. Elizabeth Daner. So Dr. Elizabeth Daner, she is the expert on ESP, and when they're talking about ESP after looking at the probe, we find out that Gary Mitchell has the highest ESP ratings, and she's got very high ratings too.
And
but
it's
not
only
as high
getting
as his.
stronger, and her justification is that, then he calls the whole crew in though, doesn't he?
Yeah, because he's trying to tell.
Because he's freaking out.
Yeah, he's basically
Kirk
is trying to decide if he's going to kill his old buddy Gary Mitchell.
Right. That's the context too, though, because they've been friends for over 15 years.
Yeah, and he requested Gary on his first command.
That too.
And so Gary Mitchell is really pulling at Kirk's heartstrings, because Gary Mitchell wants to control the ship. And he wants to find a planet that will be like
causes it too.
Good for him. Like he's like, well, I don't know what kind of planet I can use. And Kirk's like, Used for what? And he's like, never you mind. Like, obviously some nefarious god villain
And he keeps
shit.
teetering on that stuff too.
And he actually, so he kills a crew member with an electrical cord that he wraps around.
That's way later though.
That's after he decides that they're going to
try to capture
the planet.
him.
Okay. So
they're going. This is what causes the meeting though, is that he starts to mess things up on the ship. He starts to control like his switches. Pulses and stuff. Yeah.
He shows the Dr. Daner. He's like, because they're one of the things I love about these old Star Treks is the vital signs monitor in sickbay.
It's so funny.
It's those gauges that has little triangles that point. It's like your ship's gauges in a Commodore 64 game. That's like in the Aliens game. That's what the gauges on the ship looked like. And so he shows Dr. Daner. He's like, look what I can do with my mind. And he stops his heart and just passes out. And she's like, what are you doing? And he brings himself back to life. And it's just like proving that he's a god. Like he's like, only a god can kill God. And I killed myself and brought myself back to life. It's just like he's showing that he can control. Bizarre. He's showing he can control everything about the universe and right down to his own body or whatever. But it's also got all these philosophical ramifications of like definitely. If he's a god, and
where's this gonna go? Where is this gonna end up?
So then, and they're saying that they're getting reports from around the ship that little flip switches are being flipped and shit, and he's doing it. And that's when they gotta get everybody together to decide what to do. Kirk decides to go to this planet and maroon Gary Mitchell.
Yep.
And of course, he goes to check in on Gary, and Gary knows what he's going to do.
Oh, because he probably heard the meeting too that they had.
He's all powerful. They show him kind of being omnipotent or omnipresent, whichever one of those things means what I want it to mean. And is this when he chokes the guy with the hilarious cord?
No, that's they go on the planet first. But what's nice that I wanted to bring up with the meeting is that there's also the internal conflict too with Spock and Dr. Denner.
Yeah, because she's like what? Because she
wants to save him.
Yeah, she's in Gary Mitchell's corner.
And then Spock's like, no, we gotta get rid of him.
We gotta kill him or maroon him as soon as we can.
Immediately.
And she's like, no, he's not evil. That's what she says. He's not evil.
Oh, that's the other thing why I kept thinking of X-Men too, is that her justification again was that like, this is a new evolution of human beings. This is a new superior race.
Yeah, and we're like, and it's weird because she says that and it's just silence in the room.
Yeah, everyone stares at each other.
And Star Trek gets really into eugenics and whatnot very soon after this. Like they'd shot the Khan episode. They know they're gonna. Or no, this is the pilot,
right?
So they will, but they do eventually get into eugenics. And she's just like, but he's an evolved man. We can't just kill him. And think of what we could learn about how we could
use his powers for good.
So it's funny that she touches on the eugenics stuff immediately.
It's Kirk, like Magneto's speech.
What Kirk is afraid of, and he breaks it down the best when he's like, well, this is a guy, imagine, so every man, and he says man, every man has these base instincts, the most terrible fucking shit that they could ever think or say or do, and most men don't have the power to act on all that shit. Not like they don't have the power to do it, but also there would be consequences if they did.
Yeah.
Right? So he's saying this Gary Mitchell, he's dangerous and needs to be marooned because he has no fucking consequences.
Exactly. And I mean, it's it goes back though to the whole thing of absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Sure. Yes.
Because he just kept getting stronger and stronger as you see further in the episode.
And he definitely chokes a dude. We don't know if that person was dead or not because they cut it
at the right time.
They fade as the guy. So
they capture him on the planet. That's what we're trying to say. They get down to the planet. They capture him.
He runs away to the planet.
No.
Does?
Oh wait, no. They take him down.
They take him down there, but he chokes. He kills the guy first.
No. He kills the guy after.
Because he's in prison. Not on the planet. He's in prison on the ship when they're talking to him through the force field.
No, he's on the planet.
He is?
Yes. Okay, this is what happens. This is what I'm telling you.
He's going from go to the compendium.
Okay. So then, so he's in the prison, right? He does the hard thing, and then like he's messing with the controls. They're like, okay, we got to get to the planet. They walk back in. He knows a plan, and he does this whole speech about how he's going to be a god. And then we were both laughing about how they just knock him out.
Oh, yeah.
And then they knock him out, bring him on the transporter,
and he's standing up unconscious.
Yeah.
That's what I thought was funny.
And then they carry him over to the little prison.
Yes.
And then they do the sail face button.
So he does this big
the
speech.
Other guy.
He does this big speech on the Enterprise in sickbay about how he's going to be a god, and Kirk just punches him in the face.
Quick.
And he just smacks him one.
Knock him
and he
out.
also makes, and that's, he starts that scene by like levitating a drinking water cup from that's his big display of his powers. Is he
gets a cup of water,
a blue Solo cup, and then fills it and then levitates it over, and Kirk grabs it and you see the string. It's pretty cool. But so then they knock him out with a hypodermic needle to the neck, Star Trek style. What do they call it? A hypospray.
Yeah.
And then they walk him to the transporter, and he's supposed to be knocked out, and he's just standing up vertically perfectly. And that's one explanation for it. Or they just didn't want to deal with carrying the actor.
Maybe.
So they transport down to the planet, and
they like hobble him over.
Yeah, they get him into the little prison on the planet. Obviously, this isn't going to hold him. At some point, Dr. Daner, the lady, she gets the superpowers too.
Yeah.
She joins him, and it just took her longer because her ESP, her espers,
her esper levels,
her levels were high enough. Well, no, the fucking thing is the fact that I think it's funny that it's espers because isn't espers in Final Fantasy VII? Espers are the little things you get that you enchant your weapons with and shit.
I think those are charms or like
no, it's espers in one of them. There's magicka in one, and then and I think that's Final Fantasy 3. I think
mana,
it's magicka.
Right?
Well, mana is your magic points.
Oh yeah.
At any rate, they say espers a lot, and it's fucking hilarious. So they get to so then she's got powers, and basically Gary Mitchell wants to create a new world. And then he wants to take over the universe. So he starts by creating this like Eden, and this is something we talked about. He makes this
funny.
It's like this desert planet. He waves his hand, and then there's an oasis with plants and shit. And he's got some like alien apples. And we were just thinking, if you're a god, wouldn't you want a fucking cheeseburger?
Yeah.
Like, wouldn't you want a cheeseburger tree or like a lobster pop?
The other thing, though, how he even starts the island is that like they land on the island, and what is it? The lady's like, Dr. Denner's like, how we can't even live here. And he goes, nonsense, I'm a god. And he wipes his hand, and it's like a little lake and then a little spout that's coming out.
Oh, yeah, the water fountain.
The water fountain. And we were like, why didn't he just get a waterfall?
He kneels down, a god kneels down.
and just cups his hands.
And I think it's because he's,
I mean, they're limited to the team, but still.
Well, I think he's still like limited by his human imagination, and that kind of plays in with what Kirk was saying.
That's cool. Yeah, that's a nice little insight.
He can't think. He's still a human. It's like just because he's got these superpowers doesn't mean he can imagine the right thing to do with them. You know, so
you think that's why they still sympathize with him, though, because they know like he can't think at that grand scale just quite yet.
And just the fact that happened, it accidentally happened to him. And she even says that. Dr. Drainer says that. She says this. He didn't ask for this to happen.
So maybe he didn't kill him. Maybe he didn't kill that guy with the cable.
Yeah, maybe he just choked him out.
Maybe
because so fans, listeners, what happens is this guy's working at a console, and a little cable
he made a
pops up behind
button.
him. A little cable. that was on the planet.
Right, exactly.
Okay,
that's
so
what
we should talk about this. And I'm sorry if I steamrolled over you there, Al. Yes, so on the planet, there's a power plant or a prison. It's like a power plant with a prison. And what they're going to do...
so weird.
Because it's like a mine or some shit, right? So they've got a safety switch rigged up where they can blow the whole place up and kill Mitchell if he gets out.
They blow like a chunk of the planet. He goes, this can blow up the entire valley. And it's like, why?
And it seems
just
like
building,
it's only...
maybe.
And they're not keeping that crewman there. It's just until they leave, I think. So like...
No, he goes, press it when you can.
Yeah, so... If
you think you're the last man...
Yeah, if you think you're the last man, press this failsafe and blow the whole fucking shit up. And it's that's the guy that gets choked out by a cable.
But he disappears.
They just fade out. He doesn't die, I don't think.
No, yeah, they must
because
save him.
Because it fades over to them talking to Mitchell, like Kirk and whatnot talking to Mitchell.
That's true. They save him.
They would have
mentioned
you just killed a man.
Yeah,
But So at any rate, she gets superpowers too. Kirk is back on the Enterprise, goes back down to the planet. He's got a hilarious gun that looks like a 1930s drawing of a sci-fi gun with a plunger. Too. Go to the compendium.
This was the only new weapon built for the episode. It was the official premiere of the phaser rifle. But although it was mentioned in the writer's guide, the phaser rifle never appeared in any future Trek episodes.
So because it looked insane.
It looks like a big, it looks like a big, it
looks like a big dart gun.
Or a dart gun.
A water gun.
A water
gun,
yeah.
Yes.
And it looks silly, just a big, like hulking husk, and then just a nice thin little.
Looks like a super soaker with multiple bottles on it, basically. The old super soaker 400, your mom wouldn't buy it.
Little nozzle on the end,
And it's funny how those effects can kind of look cheesy, of course, because we didn't have a lot of the.
Oh yeah.
But at the same time, this episode has the most beautiful matte paintings, like in the back for the backgrounds,
when they land on there,
and all the airbrushing of the rocks. This team, great. They do a great job with rocks, with foam core rocks. They do good work.
Oh, and just a feeling of setting and surrounding to help the actors and stuff, do their shtick better.
Exactly, it's immersive for the actors. Puts them in the spot.
Yes, exactly.
Gets him in there.
There's there's a really good shot though. The one that you're referring to, I think, is when Kirk and Dr. Denner are on the planet, and she's like, "So you sure we're really alone out here?" And he's like, "Yep, he's like, "We're the only chickens out here." I don't know what he meant by
it's
chickens.
Like the chickens have come home to roost. He's saying we're the chickens that have come home to roost. That means that he's gonna do the thing that he wanted to do, or he's gonna remake the universe or whatever. So then Kirk takes this phaser rifle down to the planet, and he is going to stop Gary Mitchell from ending the universe.
And his failsafe plan.
Yeah. So explain that.
Oh, it's hilarious. He gets up from his daze. So the bad guy gets out, Mitchell, with Dr. Drainer. And they go to another part of the planet, and Kirk and Spock, they recover, they get back up. And the medical guy's about to fix or help Spock, and he goes, "No, don't wake him up for another hour."
Oh, that's right. So Kirk and Spock both get knocked out, and Gary Mitchell escapes. And Kirk wakes up, and the doctor is going to do some smelling salts on Spock to wake him up. And Kirk is like, "Nah, give me a minute. I want to go try and see if I can deal with Mitchell without Spock."
And then he goes, "If I don't call back within 12 hours... just nuke the entire planet."
Just nuke the planet. That's very...
What is it? Is it Datron radiation or Deuteron or
some
radiation?
Sort of radiation. One thing that... I guess we can talk about it afterwards. We have to talk about at the beginning of this that they talk about how Kirk was a nerd at the academy and always carrying books.
Yeah, that too. This episode, we were always saying that, pop culture says that, Kirk's kind of a playboy and, he always bends the rules and he's tricky.
He's Johnny Rules in this,
but he's super. Yeah, he's very by the book, and even Dr. Drainer was like, "Hey, he's your best friend. It's been 15 years. You promoted him to commander and this and that." And he's like, "I don't really give a fuck. I
gotta do what I gotta do.
Get rid of him. Yeah, He's not Gary Mitchell anymore. He's gone."
And so then.
Basically, he goes after him.
So Kirk goes after Gary Mitchell. Gary Mitchell shows Kirk his own grave, and he's going to kill Kirk and put him in his own grave and drop a boulder on him. But Dr. Drainer uses her powers, and then they have a back and forth. Gary Mitchell and Dr. Drainer have a back and forth of their powers where they point at each other, and when the powers get used, the target turns a bright pink and is in pain. So it's he points at her and she's bright pink and in pain. She points at him and she's bright pink and in pain when they're attacking each other before, and so then she makes it so that their powers are suppressed. They go back and forth. Gary Mitchell and Dr. Drainer go back and forth, and then she makes it so his powers are suppressed. And Kirk, you've only got a few seconds. So then Kirk and Gary Mitchell fight. Kirk doesn't knock him out soon enough. And Gary Mitchell,
so strange.
Gary Mitchell has said 40 times, "You should have killed me when you had the chance, Kirk." He said it all the episode.
We're gonna bring that up too.
And Kirk definitely should have killed him when he had the chance, and he doesn't this time. But what happens is they struggle, they fall into the grave. Kirk jumps out, and then Dr. Drainer drops a boulder from that was going to drop
he
on
shoot
Kirk.
it too, though? He shoots the rock?
Kirk, okay, so no, she doesn't do the ESP.
Because she's knocked out.
She's knocked out.
Yeah.
Kirk shoots the weird plunger gun at the laser gun at the boulder, and it just falls on Gary Mitchell.
It falls on the grave. Yeah,
and it doesn't even look like would it have killed him, but we're supposed to
really
think it did.
confused about that. I guess the conflict just ended. But that's what I was going to bring up, though, too, is that, like, when they were both the ESP, Dana and...
ESP fight?
Yeah, the ESP fight, we were like, okay, I bet people in the background were like, okay, you're getting zapped, you're getting zapped, you're getting zapped, you're
he's
falling.
zapping you, you're you're being zapped, you're zapping, you're being zapped, you're zapping, zap, and then you're being zapped.
It doesn't look bad, it looks good.
It looks great, but you know there's just somebody off camera going, you're being zapped, you're zapping. Fall over, yes. Oh, you're being zapped, and then that's basically the end of the episode. They stop Gary Mitchell.
Oh yeah, and then Kirk crawls over, and then she dies. Yeah. What did she say though? She's like, "Oh, we couldn't save him."
Oh yeah, they couldn't save Gary Mitchell. It's all very sad. We're trying to do a shorter recap.
Depressing ending.
We're trying to find our rhythm for these episodes. We wanted to do a shorter recap and then get to talking about the episodes, but so much fucking happens.
Yeah.
And even if you've seen it before, I think you
got to put it in context too. I think you got to put it in context too. But now that like we've already summarized it, what stood out to you? What do you think was like the lesson? I guess
I think the lesson of it is, like you said already, absolute power corrupts absolutely.
That's a big point.
I think some important things to point out is first off, all the exterior ship effects look fucking awesome. Just course. Like every one of these remasters. Yeah. Every one of these remasters starts with an amazing exterior shot of the Enterprise. It's like
we were also debating whether if they used a new shot or not. There's a shot where
there's a couple of shots of the ship, special effects shots, where I would if a more diligent podcast co-host like myself would have looked that up and looked for a side by side, because I know there are YouTube side by sides of the remaster versus what they
use some new stuff,
and there are.
It looks so good.
It looks so fucking good, and I love these recap, or I love those remastered effects of the ship. This episode aired in September 22nd, 1966. And there's still no Chekhov. That's what I'm waiting for. We're still like 35 episodes before we get Chekhov. No, one or two episodes
Scotty
before
shows
Bones.
Up though, right? Is this
Scotty
his premiere?
Scotty wearing his tan. They're all wearing tan turtlenecks.
Yeah, this is when they didn't really figure out their uniforms yet either. No distinctions.
They were still wearing Pike's tan turtleneck from the original pilot. One thing that stood out to me is how how logical they make Spock, and then they just stick to that for 60 years. And Spock does end up having an emotions, and he's half human, and they build on it. They make him more human.
They showed at the end. I mean, Spock was like, I kind of feel bad, and Kirk was like, there's hope for you yet. And it's like, come on,
and we usually cover in the synopsis the big stinger at the end, and that's
weird.
it. Like Spock is like, Spock, you're getting it, buddy.
Ironically, though, I mean, I guess with this episode, I like the conflict between Spock and Dr. Drainer more than the Gary Mitchell villain.
And really, that's
because Gary Mitchell's like, I'm bad, and it's like, okay, we've like. I mean, I guess in TV, it hasn't... no, actually, fuck that. It's been visited hundreds of times.
It's just neat that... So Gary Mitchell
better that there's a conflict on the team and that everyone's not on the same page. I think that's what makes Star Trek so refreshing.
Yeah, because we all know Gary Mitchell is bad, and we don't want him to remake the universe in his own image.
It's going to get worse.
But it's what are you going to do about it? And the fact that the conflict is being driven by Dr. Drainer wants to save him, and Spock is just like, kill him or maroon him.
Exactly.
And Spock wants to kill him. And so I
agree
it
wouldn't make any sense because he'd come back.
Exactly. You're going to maroon a god? Like, he's going to create a planet with ships and just come and blast your ass.
Or he'd make traps and torture devices so he could hurt himself and then get stronger every time at him, because that's how he gets stronger.
Is that how he got stronger?
Because... Yeah, remember? So when he was trying to escape the prison, he runs into the gate and then his eyes go away. Like that's his superpower, right? His eyes go away, and they're like, "Oh no, his eyes!" And then like his eyes get better, and he goes, "Don't you realize I'm getting stronger every time?"
Oh, and that's how she turns him human.
That's
at the
why
end.
Exactly,
they fight
because
each other.
ESP, they wear each other out.
They wear each other out.
But the other point too is that we were like, he was probably still human when Kirk buried him with that boulder.
Well, he did have the silver eyes again, though.
Yeah, see, that's what was so confusing. So it's like, who knows if he got out or not? Maybe he'll come back.
I know he doesn't, but yeah, he's totally dead. They talk about him on Lower. There's a hilarious episode of Lower Decks where they parody this episode.
Oh, that's funny.
And they talk about, they're like, how did they take care of this when it happened to Gary Mitchell? It's like, dropped a fucking boulder on his head.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And that's the other thing that's so funny about this.
How many issues do you think they'd solve with that?
Exactly. Like, the Klingons are out of hand. Drop a boulder on their head. Q, drop a boulder on his head.
That's funny.
And just the. So I really enjoyed the God implications. I think the heart of the episode for me is when Kirk is talking about how Gary, we can't let a man have that kind of power because humans have base instincts and they have things that they're like terrible fucking shit they could do if only they were given the green light by either their ability
or themselves
or that there wouldn't be consequences. And you can't have that.
That was the point. Yeah, he said he wasn't suffering any consequences, and that's why you have to control him.
That's why he's got to get got, baby.
Yeah, that was a pretty good summary. It blows my mind, though, that it's like there's so many scenes that kind of piece it all together, and it's 50 minutes. Like,
it's very that's something else I'll talk about a lot with these episodes.
That blows my mind.
They seem way longer than fucking 50 minutes. Like when I had COVID, and it's not just because my brain was being cooked by the SARS. Like when I had COVID and I watched these episodes, I couldn't fucking believe it. I'd be like, is this still the same episode where this thing happened? And I'd look, and it would be, but they all feel like a feature-length film. Like, they all feel like 90 minutes at least.
They don't waste as much time as you would think, and it doesn't stretch it out.
You just assume it's been, like, it just feels like it's been longer.
What's that show called? What's it called? It's The Dropout.
I haven't seen it.
Oh, it's really good. I mean, the story's really good, and it carries it.
That's about
the lady, the Theranos lady.
Theranos.
Yeah. And she does like a medical farce or fraud. She commits medical fraud by providing fake medical blood tests.
Oh, yeah, I know a bit about Theranos or whatever, but I didn't.
Because I remember when it was happening in real time, and then a YouTuber covered it, and then people saw the video and was like, "Oh, this is pretty easy for a story." But her name was Elizabeth Holmes. You should watch it. But they stretch it out for a whole season, and it could have been a good 9 or 8 episodes, and I think it's like 11 or 12. But it's just like stuff that they linger on things for too long, and it's one of those shows too where it's like you can just. There's parts that add to it, but it's like it's not nearly as like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is Star Trek. You know.
Yes.
Because there's no B plot. I was thinking about that too. There's no B plot in this episode, right? The B plot's like
the internal
Spock and Spock and
the team
Dr.
conflict,
Jenner,
not internal, but the inter-character conflict between the crew.
But that has something to do with the A plot. So it's like this is really driven. I was saying though, it feels like a Saturday morning cartoon, but it's 50 minutes.
Yeah, which
is crazy.
It's always strange how much they cover, how it seems like it's been longer, but it's also doesn't drag.
Yeah, they don't waste
any really time. Put a lot of time. They really put really put a lot in there. And
it's all up to the writing though, right? Like that's what it all led up to, right?
And the editing. It's almost more like the editing and directing in terms of how it feels. Like, because the writing doesn't really control how long the shit feels. That's where the editing comes in, and
the actors and delivering.
Exactly, it all is it's as they say in that episode I think you should leave with Tim Robinson. It's a cosmic gumbo. There's one quote from when Kirk is arguing at his own gravesite with Gary Mitchell. Gary Mitchell says, "Morals are for men, not gods," and I thought that was a very cool line. And it totally proves everything that Kirk has been saying.
And he said, "Pray to me."
And then he said, "Oh yeah, he does." He tells Kirk to pray to him. He's a weirdo.
Yeah.
And then at the end, something we didn't mention, and when Spock says he feels bad for Gary Mitchell, and Kirk says there might be hope for you yet, they just say that Dr. Drainer and Commander Mitchell or Lieutenant Gary Mitchell were killed on the planet in the course of their duties. They don't mention anything in his service record about the fact that he wanted to become a god and take over the universe. And that's just because Kirk, he was his buddy, and he just wants to keep his record clean, even though he would have destroyed the entire universe with his mighty godhead. So what, you got anything else you want to say about this episode where no man has gone before?
It's very straightforward. It's back to like the darker stuff because these stakes seemed like a lot, and the conflict resolution was just like, okay, kill him or we're gonna die.
And it's the pilot, and they're like, the whole universe is at stake immediately in the pilot.
That's true. That's true too. It's not like a really easy go by episode.
I do think that it was smart of them to not air this first, though.
Oh, hell yeah.
Like, they shot it first. It was the pilot. It was the proof of concept.
It was way too dark.
They made their tweaks based on the notes from the original pilot that was canceled or not picked up.
You ease into an episode like this. You don't start off with...
And that's why I thought it was so interesting that what did they do instead? Like, what did they do? What were the episodes before this?
The Cage.
Well, the Cage was the pilot. The Cage was the pilot.
Oh, okay.
The one with Pike. Why is my phone killing me so much? Charlie X was and the Man Trap. So like they did like
X and
the Man Trap
right.
is is a kind of a lighter idea, even though it's kind of spooky. And Charlie X was the kid that could control, like a very Twilight Zone-esque episode. A kid could control reality, and then you get into this one.
To the absolute power thing again too. Do you think there'll be a lot of episodes that cover that?
Yes. There's going to be a lot of Q-esque entities that we interact with.
Cool.
Because,
all right.
And it's funny because Q is kind of like the only one like that in Next Generation.
Right.
But they
That's
were
what makes
running
them so
into
scary.
super powerful, weird, and sometimes non-corporeal
constantly
entities
they're running
always
into scary
in the old stuff. But yeah, that's all I want. A very interesting episode. I love it.
Yeah, I'm excited
it's like
about
a
the next one
superhero.
too.
I mean, it's got superpowers. It's got tinfoil eyeballs.
Oh god.
It's got a great guest cast.
Yeah, very solid guest cast this episode too. I really like it.
I'm looking forward to getting our Bones back though next week.
Yeah, I really missed Bones. That's what it needed too. And then the Scotty
Kelly.
Guy didn't do as much as I thought he would.
Yeah, there wasn't as much
He's
Scotty
kind of like,
in this one.
The engineering team's ready, and it's like, okay,
I do. Sure, thanks.
Cool.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Mr. Scott. I will say that watching these old episodes with Scotty, it just reinforces that Simon Pegg was perfect cast for the J.J. Abrams shit. It's like they look similar. they really made Simon Pegg, even though they kind of look similar already. They really made his. He's just it's so because you don't really because when I first got introduced to these casts, I knew Doohan as an older, larger fellow, like from like episode
square.
4, like from episode 4 and shit. But back then, he looks like Simon Pegg in fucking Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah,
so it makes sense. But anyway, I liked this episode a lot.
It was pretty solid.
The next episode that we're going to talk about, of course, is episode 4. We'll find out. I keep locking my fucking phone. We're going to learn how to do a podcast, goddammit.
Sorry, we're
and
not
people are going to...
I'm
not... Look, I'm done apologizing. You're listening. You're in it. We're friends.
I have...
Naked Time. The Naked Time.
Naked Time.
See, now what could that be? The Naked Time. That sounds like they're all going to eat a fruit that makes them want to fuck or something. They're going to find an alien fruit that causes naked time to break out around the ship.
Just strange things begin to happen on the ship by a disease.
Oh, all right. We're gonna find out. Here's what the IMDb little blurb is. The crew is infected with a mysterious disease that removes people's emotional inhibitions to a dangerous degree, and that begins naked time. Thanks so much.
All right. Thank you very much for listening, guys. This is Al Hirt
and Adam Ordal Quinnell signing off. Goodbye.
See ya.